Hello, welcome to my new show, Triple Take. This is where I review anything that I feel like, and today I have with me Rip'n'Dake Memes, one of the greatest memers on Instagram. I will leave a link to his profile in the description below, and you can give him a sweet follow. Anyways, let's get straight to it. Ready, set, action. Take 1, Sonic the Hedgehog, 1999. Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, 1999. Created by Studio Pierrot and General Entertainment Co. Limited, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie released in Japan as a two-part episode airing on February 4th, 1996. Both 30 minutes long and released on separate VHS tapes, the first titled Journey to Eggman Land and the other Sonic vs. Metal Sonic, and later in 1999, September 7th, was released in Japan as a full-length film, having both parts combined into one VHS tape. The first VHS tape revolves around Sonic and Tails traveling to Eggman Land under Dr. Robotnik's wishes to stop the robot generator in Robotropolis and defeat Metal Robotnik. The second VHS is placed upon the showdown of Sonic vs. Hyper Metal Sonic. Throughout the film we meet an interesting cast of characters. Of course we meet Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Metal Sonic, and Robotnik, but we also meet a series first of new characters. President is his name, he's not really referred to anything else, and his daughter Sarah, who gets kidnapped in the film and is basically the main plot point for all of this. And one of my personal favorites, Old Man Owl, was blind and very hip. In order for Robotnik to fully take over, he has to kill Sonic, and then comes the creation of Metal Sonic. Robotnik makes Metal Sonic, but in order to complete his AI, he has to infuse Metal Sonic with Sonic's life data. Sonic and Tails proceed to the President's house and find Robotnik there, holding them both hostage. Robotnik then tells them that an evil robot has made a robot army and has banished Robotnik from the land of darkness, and he will let the President and his daughter Sarah go if he defeats Metal Robotnik. While Sonic and Tails are out for searching for the robot generator, a giant mech crashes into the White House, and it has been planned by Dr. Robotnik, but Sarah decides to go into the mech and get them both stuck inside. Sonic and Tails finally make it to the land of darkness in the good old tornado biplane, which gets damaged in the process. They run into Metal Robotnik, who attacks them both. They get trapped in what is presumably glue, and then enters Knuckles with his funny little cowboy hat. I don't know, Australians usually wear these? I guess he's also very Australian inspired in this time around. It makes sense. I mean, echidnas are from, they're native to Australia. Whatever. One thing that did seem to stick out, though, was when Knuckles saved Tails. Tails had glue on his tails and couldn't fly to get Sonic. Tails then surfs over to Sonic on a board, and it is shown then using his tails to propel himself through the water even though he had glue stuck to them. It's just a little detail that bothered me when watching it. I am also not sure how much canon this movie is to the games on comics or anything like that, but when Sonic saves Knuckles he says,
"Thanks a lot, pal! I owe you one!"
And then Knuckles replies,
"I think we're even."
Probably referring to when Sonic 3 or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Knuckles was told that Sonic was a bad guy by Dr. Robotnik, and he attacked him and all that stuff. It might be a reference to it, who knows. They then defeat and destroy the Metal Robotnik, proceed to Robotropolis. And here's the scene here. I can maybe understand that Knuckles can maybe glide, but this right here, it just seems a bit overdoing it, no? Also, Sonic can fly too, I guess. Might as well make everyone fly, right? Sonic then shuts off the robot generator and is stuck in some weird force field thingamajig, which is scanning him, taking his data, and is what is referred to as his life data. Now comes in Metal Sonic, who is now complete with Sonic's information, all a part of Robotnik's plan. The Metal Robotnik returns, but in pieces, falls apart, and Sarah and Robotnik are then in it. Metal Sonic and Sonic get into a battle, but with Metal Sonic having the same speed as Sonic, it's a very difficult fight. Sonic then loses against Metal Sonic and is presumed dead by Dr. Robotnik Tails and Knuckles. Tails and Knuckles then head to the land of the sky. Sonic is then soon found out to actually be alive, and then he remembers Metal Sonic and then proceeds to go after him. Tails and Knuckles return to home to find Old Man Owl in some pretty hip clothing, you know, which really just reminds me of Steve Buscemi, where he's like, "How do you do, fellow kids?" He then goes to say how Metal Sonic made him wear it, and is now causing destruction through the land of the sky. And, you know, I would be scared too if I had to wear clothes like that. Also, shortly before that, there's a scene where there's this cup next to the owl where he's just relaxing, and it says Shaq on it, and it might have supposed to be shake, but they could have easily just, you know, put the E at the end, but they just left it out, and it kind of reminds me of the Shaq drink in disguise. Maybe it's like a prototype. So then Sonic eventually comes back, and then they meet at like an ice cap kind of area. Tails and Knuckles end up tracking down Metal. Metal plans to destroy basically the structure that keeps the continents together, which is like an ice cap or something, and there's like tons of ice bridges. Then comes a scene where Sonic goes, "You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?" Then a scene where they snowball into each other, and Tails is shown holding Sarah's big old bops there, and Knuckles says, "I'd never thought you'd stoop so low, man. If you thought Sonic Boom was good, you should watch this." Tails ends up hacking Metal Sonic, which cancels out the brain waves, I guess, or brings out more of the Sonic personality in him. The president ends up coming to the scene, but then getting tragically stuck into the ice, and close to actually ruining everybody's plans, but then Metal Sonic ends up actually saving Old Man Owl, who was the pilot and the president. And I guess it was because Tails, you know, bringing out the more Sonic personality from before. Metal ends up getting hit by the lava in the sky or something like that, and then is slowly being pulled in. Sonic goes after Metal Sonic to save him. As Metal is crawling back up and Sonic is reaching out, Metal slaps his hand away and tells Sonic there is only one Sonic, and then proceeds to have a Terminator cliche moment. So then the movie ends with a happy ending, a well-received and much-loved movie, especially by me. I watch it like maybe once or twice every year. I'll come back around to it. The movie's art style and animation is absolutely lovable. It's bouncy and nice, the kind of Sonic that we all love, the slow, fat one. Soundtrack I actually loved a lot. I didn't recognize it from any of the other Sonic games. It didn't sound familiar, but it sounded like it would be from a Sonic game. And that's probably the best part, is the soundtrack is just great. You know, it makes you feel like you're playing a Sonic game, like 1 or 2 or 3. Now, I do have to nitpick a bit, but let's talk about the voice acting. They all sound very nasally, like, and then I don't know, they just all sound very, like, they close their nose to have, like, a kid voice, I guess. Although the one person that did really, really amazing was Dr. Robotnik's voice actor. He did really, really good. I loved every second of it. And I know around this time people didn't really know what Sonic's voice would be like, because, you know, it was like Sonic 1, 2, 3 era and stuff like that, and you know, he didn't really have a voice established up until Adventure, I believe. You know, I'm not gonna nitpick that much, you know, it's a new thing. People didn't really know their voices. And Tails bothers me the most because it just sounds like they're trying way too hard. It sounds way nasally, and like, I don't know, they're trying too hard. Knuckles, though, kinda, I'm not understanding the mixture. The cowboy hat, and then we got how he sounds like a redneck sometimes, and then he is from Australia. I can't complain too much though, because some of the parts they did sound really well for not knowing what their voices are. The little jokes here and there are nice. My favorite is probably when the Old Man Owl is, you know, wearing the Sonic clothing, but overall I would give this movie a nice solid 8 out of 10, and it's up on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. Hopefully this video does not cause that video to get taken down anytime, because I thoroughly enjoy it. Take 2, Chop Kick Panda.
Let's see what film I can review. Yeah, these are good. Now you'd think that I'd be reviewing Shopcake Panda, but that film is actually decent. No, instead, we're gonna watch another film. It's the best one out of this collection of 3 films besides Shopcake Panda. So without further ado, here's What's Up, A Balloon to the Rescue. Have you ever seen the movie Up? Ever wanted to see a downgraded version of the film, but with cheap animation, a terrible plot, and it sold at those Kmart bins that you could get films for like $10 or so, and you can just, you know, out of curiosity buy a film? Well, if that's the case, then What's Up, A Balloon to the Rescue is right up your alley. More like right up your... So the film is pretty much what you would expect. You know the story. It's just like the film Up. You know, where there's 2 scientists, a girl and a boy, that create a house that flies up into the sky, and a French guy that only drinks wine.
Oui, Monsieur Jean-Pierre. I'm Dr. Crumb. It's my pleasure. Would you like some tea?
No, merci, I am French. We drink wine.
Tells them that he saw a monster in a cave to steal a rock that the scientists created to hypnotize the entire population of Earth.
You there, close your eyes. Now raise your arm. Now do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that one. It's actually hard to pinpoint exactly what the plot is because it's just random every time. Like, for instance, there's this part where pretty much one of the scientists say that they can get food from other planets.
Imagine that within this infinite universe, we are no longer alone. We can and will find new friends. If we need protection, we can ask for help from the forces of Saturn. If we become hungry, we can receive bananas from Pluto and nectarines from Neptune. The possibilities are absolutely endless.
And there's also a bunch of racist jokes there too, which is kind of weird, especially for a kid's film.
No problem, but arigato is Japanese. I'm Chinese. My name is Ching Ling. Hello.
Perfect, China! I promise to give you some Moo Goo Gai Pan when we get back to the house!
That's good, because I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend, Chin Ling, the cute Chinese gentleman.
Hello, everybody.
But did you really have to pick someone who might be smarter than me?
Wow! You mean he could be that smart? Huh. I thought he was just gonna make us some dinner!
All in all, it's actually not easy to review this film at all. I think it's something that you need to see personally. I think the film is free to watch on YouTube, so you could just look that up and you could watch the whole thing there. It's really hard to say exactly what's in it. Just because of how random it is and like how insane all of it is, I think it's worth a watch. And I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10, but I would give it a watch just to see, like, it's like those films that are so bad it's good. It's too hard to review. The film, I would give it about like a 5 out of 10, which is barely passable, but you know, it's not that bad. Just give it a watch. It's weird, but it's not horrible.
Take 3. Black Mirror. Black Mirror, created in the United Kingdom by Charlie Brooker, is a show based on modern society, and some may say it's the modern-day anthology, The Twilight Zone. Originally aired on British television on Channel 4 in December 2011, and then bought out by Netflix in September of 2015, it was then commissioned to make 12 more episodes and split into 2 seasons. Black Mirror being especially identical in the fact that every episode shares a new set of characters and a new set of situations and stories, the show highlights how much modern-day society can be so dependent on technology and its many possibilities it can offer, whether they may be good or bad. The way we live now, and the way we might be living in 10 minutes time if we're clumsy. Charlie Brooker, stating how things can go wrong if we're not careful with control of our actions and technology. The show takes place in a distant future where technology has taken over humanity's everyday tasks, and even enhance humans in many ways, with such as the grain, a small piece of technology that is set behind the ear and records through the person's eyes and can be rewatched and kept in a library of memories. iLink, which is used to see through others' eyes. The show is really focused on eye technology. It is shown throughout many of the episodes that everyone has seemed to place their eyes, although it hasn't officially really stated that, just shows it, and it doesn't seem to have an exact name either, but it seems to be a replacement of everyone's eyes to have some kind of technology that uses all of this shown in various episodes. The acting is absolutely stellar, the writing is incredible, with twists you may not expect that hide under your nose. It almost feels like a movie when you're watching just one episode. Feel immersed and connected to every character's story. If you do not wish to have this spoiled, skip to this time in the video, it will be up on screen. Skip to that now. This episode starts off with Prime Minister Michael and him finding out that the Princess Susanna, a member of the royal family, has been taken. The Prime Minister is then informed that he must perform sexual acts with a pig on live television in order to set the Queen free. As security forces are looking for the kidnapper and the princess, the media is also informed about this blackmailing video that was posted on YouTube. So now the Prime Minister is now having his hands tied to either publicly humiliating himself and then getting the princess freed, or don't and the princess is killed. The media having a majority joining his side and some saying to do the very disgusting acts. As the time grows closer, the media in the UK slowly turns against him to do the unfortunate acts. As time grows closer, the Prime Minister is now made a very difficult decision to then perform the sexual acts. As he is doing the act, the police find the princess in the middle of the streets, but they saw on the cameras that she was actually released 30 minutes before the sex act had even begun. They decide to keep this a secret to help the Prime Minister from not, freaking out. It was all set up by someone who had planned the whole thing in order to make a statement on people's obsession with media and how they can be very impressionable. He is then shown that he has committed suicide by hanging. This episode obtained much critical acclaim and a lot of critical lashback. Released on December 4th, 2011, at 9 p.m. this episode gained 1.9 million views overnight, gaining much more critical acclaim from many writers, saying how this episode is a writing genius and has many possibilities that could have ran through many viewers' heads, and has set up for anything to happen towards the end, and they managed to pick the most shocking of infinite options. Gaining an A from the AV Club, a 4 out of 5 from the Telegraph, and gaining the Independent's respect and approval. The Series 2 of Black Mirror is continued. It continued to gain praise for its clever writing and incredibly relating topics on the way humanity has formed these days. The Telegraph had this to say: the show touched on important ideas, the false way we sometimes present ourselves online, and our growing addiction to virtual lives. Also touching exploration of grief. To my mind, it's the best thing Brooker has done yet. Many people give this approval, and so do I. It gives us more to think about and another way to live, how we should be open to the world more than technology. Who knows, maybe the world is one way, but then, it's also breaking technological grounds and continues to do that every single day. Just as Brooker says, we may live our lives one way, but in 10 minutes time a different way. Who says that won't happen in this world, fiction or non-fiction? I give Black Mirror a 9 out of 10, and that's only because some episodes were pretty alright. There are some plot twisting elements in, basically every episode. Every episode there's always a plot twist and turn and all that. This one was very good. They do explore many different things, and with a show like this, they are able to keep exploring infinite amount of episodes with different possibilities, but ultimately, some episodes don't catch as much as others, but a lot of them more likely catch you. But I look forward to the more endless possibilities Brooker is willing to expose to humanity's eyes. Hey, thank you for watching my new series, Triple Take. It's very, cool. I feel like I gotta have some kind of outro for this. It's nice to be, making videos, more often than usual, coming up with these amazing ideas and, setting them out there. You guys need to comment what you want below. Let me know. You want maybe another Crash video, maybe you want another thing like, a day at, maybe you want more of these kind of voiceover things, like the season's readings or this. Let me know. I'm willing to really do any of that stuff. It's all really fun to do and edit and everything. And thank you to Rip and Dink Memes for joining me today on this first episode of Triple Take. I've been having a lot of guests and such on here because it's fun to work with friends and people and stuff. But here's his Instagram right here, and a link to that Instagram in the description below. But anyways, I'll be heading on to the next project now. Bye bye.